Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas! It's Christmas at the Coulee!
Stop it. We're not saying that on camera. We're headed to Frenchman Coulee with the doggos, the wifo, the coughing, and the sequoia. Let's go. We're almost to our campsite for the evening, and that takes us through the town of Vantage, across the Columbia River, and officially out of trees and into the high deserts of Washington. The whole point of us going camping on Christmas Day is to get out of the trees.
Yeah, we wanted to get out of the trees.
Out of the trees in the rain. Now, there's a little bit of rain that followed us here, but sometimes you just want to get out of the trees. And this view is not disappointing. It's rad. Just hiked up this trail here just to make sure, one, it's passable with our sequoia, and two, there's nobody up on this mountain pass, and I found an incredible sight. So we're gonna actually do some pretty hard wheeling to get there, and we're gonna have a canyon all to ourselves. Emily and I are now going to put up our annex. Now, if you have a Skycamp DLX or Skycamp 30, this annex will work for you. In weather like this, I really think having a living room is more important than just walking in the snow and then running into the tent. So, oh look, speaking of living rooms, he's ripping off his jacket now. Look at that. Thank you, Onyx. Wow, look at that. All right, let's set up that annex. It is 6:30, and you wouldn't know it, but there's a blizzard outside. And we're in here listening to Christmas music, have the Ignic heating up our burritos, and have a diesel heater going. And we have the EcoFlow and some whiskey. It's going to be a good night. I think we might be asleep by 9:30.
Yeah, that's so good.
All right, we'll see you guys in the morning. All right, outside right now, it's 35 with a real feel of 23, but we have a temperature of 64 inside the rooftop tent, courtesy of that diesel heater right there. It's the next morning, and I wouldn't say it's a bluebird day, but my God, is it a beautiful morning out here at the Frenchman Coulee. We got a little more snow than we had bargained for last night, and then it rained a little bit over the snow, and my only hope is that this snow stays grippy when we try and drive out of here. Maybe Emily and I will hike over to the waterfall this morning and check that out. I'm extremely impressed with how well the annex did. If you're gonna have a fire pit inside a tent like this, it's gonna throw off a lot of moisture and CO2, so you can see the camera's already starting to fog up, but my God, this annex is like a lifesaver in a snowstorm. All the heat from the fire traveled up, went into the tent, kept us warm. We also rocked the diesel heater in there, and so while it was 25 at night and snowing, it was 72 inside the tent, almost a little too warm. We're gonna try and hike to the waterfall. I'd say it's gonna be a 2 to 3 mile hike round trip, maybe even more. But the way we're approaching this is we're taking the route on the road that we came in, so we can see how bad this road is. This is the wrong kind of snow. It's very wet and slippery, so there's that. I do have shovels, and it's about, I don't know, a quarter of a mile out. So I could dig my whole way out. I'm not worried about that. It's just, I want to see how this looks. Emily's filming on the selfie cam. And the waterfall is just around that corner there. So hopefully there's a trail nearby that takes us there, because I don't want to walk on that slippery highway. So wish us luck. We're going to try and get to the waterfall. Looks like we're the only crazy two people in the entire Frenchman Coulee area that decided to stay. Everybody left. And Emily and I are the only weirdos who decided to stay. To give you guys a sense, like normally this area is beyond packed with cars. There's cars there, there's cars here, there's cars up there, and there are no cars. None. No people. Nobody. First tracks to the Feathers. You can see the routes are already marked, and I don't have a guidebook, but they don't look too hard. Maybe 5'8", 5'10" route. Emily's filming, and the sun is just starting to come out here at the Frenchman Coulee. Over there, it's totally out. This is incredible. We are on the main highway. I don't recommend doing this because it's dangerous, but I'm sure when it's drier there's areas to walk. And over there is the waterfall, and this is the trail that drops you in. It does look a little narrow on that cliff there, so if it gets too narrow we won't go. I don't want the dog slipping down a cliff. There's a bald eagle watching us. This is incredible. This is as far as we want to go because it gets real rocky and steep, and we don't trust the dogs going up this. This is already pretty hard for them. So we're gonna head back down to the wife and just chill here and enjoy the view, maybe drink some water, and then hike back. One thing that's super important when you're overlanding or camping or whatever is move your body. It's very easy to go to a spot, cook up a steak, sit for 7 hours, 10 hours, wake up, have breakfast, sit in the car for another 5 hours. That's not really the way to go. The best way to go is to walk. And we've discovered explore, and we've discovered an amazing spot to walk to.
So beautiful. I can't believe we're like the only ones here.
Christmas at the Coulee. As you can tell, we just got back from our hike and we're back at camp. And one thing I wanted to point out is the Sky Camp DLX, the larger model, was big enough for myself, Emily, and 3 pit bulls to stay in last night. Now, when we first got our rooftop tent, I never thought that we would put all the dogs in the tent. 1, I don't want to carry dogs up and down the ladder. 2, I didn't think there'd be enough space. But believe it or not, when things are really cold and there's a blizzard and you need to put dogs somewhere where you can regulate heat a little bit better than an annex or inside the car, they all fit. iCamper gave us that tent to review and take on our adventures. It is the nicest, most expensive rooftop tent I've ever had in my life. The only thing I wish it had was a hole to put in the diesel heater port instead of cracking a window. That's my only gripe about the entire thing. I love the weight, I love the size, I love how easy it is to set up. I love that it kept us warm in a blizzard, as you can tell. And I love that it's going to be easy to pack up. Now it's time to get us out of here, and it's time for me to start digging because this snow is very slippery. Let's do this. All right, It took me about 45 minutes, but I shovel cleared one half of the driveway down, and you can see it's like off camber, super slushy snow. I'm beat. And I only really did one track here because this is the outside edge. That's what I'm most worried about. If the wheel here slips, it's going to kick this way. As long as there's traction here, I can still correct myself. I don't want to go any further down. So on my way back up, I'll walk in this track just to make it a little bit wider. But the next thing left is to air down and try and get out of here. And truthfully, I'm pretty nervous about what's going to happen because I hate slushy snow like this. Now, this is the part of the video where things get a little bit tricky. If you've ever snow-wheeled before, you know that this is the specific snow that you don't want to be in. Slushy on top with ice on the bottom. And the only way you can get traction is if you break through the ice layer on the bottom. This road not only sloped down to the front of the vehicle, but it sloped down to the left of the vehicle. And the last thing I want to do is slide down the hill to my left and roll or get stuck. And so the nerves are really high. I just did a easier section and I felt the rig slip a little bit, so I'm actually going to get out and clean more snow because this is where it gets really scary. This trail had two major points of a problem. One of them was a sloping downhill in front of a rock garden that used to be a sign that had bolts sticking out that would pop our tires. And then the other problem was at the very beginning of the hill that was a boulder that would be fine if it was dry, but it was covered in ice.
Those are soggy ass feet digging up this so we don't slide. Okay, gonna hit the rock. There we go. Sliding a little bit. Whoa, slid. Same spot. It's like right on it.
As you can see here, no matter what I do to try to avoid these rocks with bolts sticking out of them, I always slide into them. Eventually I made my way over, but man, that was stressful.
Oh, you're gonna drive over. Oh my god. Okay, stop. This is just ice. I mean, it's a rock, but now it's just straight ice. We'll go way more to driver. Okay. Okay, I had to switch to the iPhone because we ran out of battery. Holy shit. Yeah, try and go straight. Ooh, you're so tilted. It's insane. Please. Yeah. Straight. You might slide. You're sliding.
All right, that was actually very scary, and I'm glad Emily and I got out of that situation. But honestly, slipping down a hill with mushy snow, I knew it was going to be bad. I was planning for it to be bad. It was bad. Thank God we had these kickouts on the sliders because there were a couple sections where rocks were coming out, and they were like saving us from falling down the cliff. But the kickout pushed the tire away from the rock, and it didn't damage our recon grappler. We actually ran over the tire on the tread and not the sidewall, all thanks to the tandem off-road sliders. I didn't get that on camera because honestly it was just too scary, but Emily and I made it to the ginkgo petrified forest, and we're going to end the video here. Mother Nature isn't always predictable, and things can happen. I'm just happy Emily and I are out. I would not like to do that again. That was really scary. But we're done, and now we can focus on driving on paved roads without snow on the way home. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.